PipSnipers here, back for another update. Let's take a look at the PulseChain ecosystem today. Very crazy event that happened yesterday in regards to Richard Hart, but there's still some hope left in the charts. So today we'll be discussing the possible outcomes of a fundamental event like this. So when in regards to the chart, so when we take a look here at PulseX. It does look like, so originally what we had drawn out was that this over here was your ABC correction, and then we're having an impulsive move to the upside, right? Now, the only thing about this structure is that cons now that the drop had happened, this this wave 4, or what was a wave 4, it went into this wave 1 territory. So we can no longer say that this is an impulsive move to the upside anymore. But instead, we can say that this whole structure uh, is an accumulation structure in the form of a pennant, right? So this over here could be your pennant, like this, okay? And then what you have uh, for the Elliott wave count, it would be something like this. So this would be your A, your B, your C, your D, and then your E wave. And every wave, every macro wave has a 3-wave move within each of them. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean by that. So over here within your A wave, you have an ABC down. For your B wave, you have an ABC up. Your C wave, ABC down. Your D wave, ABC up, and then another ABC down for your E wave. So now, as long as this structural support holds, then um, we could have an event in which this slowly grinds its way to the upside and has an explosive move. Um, as long as, because what I'm expecting going into the new year is a what's called a Santa Claus rally. I believe we've had it. I believe we've had it for the altcoins after every halving. And as long as Bitcoin dominance continues its way to the downside, so we'll come back to this chart. I just want to show you Bitcoin dominance right now. So this is Bitcoin dominance right here. And let's take a look at it on the daily time frame. And yeah, so Bitcoin dominance has topped. We have a nice overshoot of this diagonal pattern. We have your fall down, right? It falls down through the wedge, comes back up to retest it towards the 78.6% fib. And now it's likely we're going to see some more downside going into the new year, which would propel alts which would propel alts further up. Okay, so when we come back to PulseX over here and we take a look at what support it's on, we can see that it's right on the 786 or right on the 702. Okay, so this is the level that bulls want to hold, this level right over here. So all I did to find this fib level is I just took a fib from this low over here in September up to the high that we had on December 3rd. Okay, take a look at the 702 and the 786. As long as price stays above this 702 786 region, then we should be good. Like then the chart is still structurally sound, um, and bulls will be okay. So as long as price stays above this level right here, bulls should be okay for that grind to the upside. However, in the case we lose this 786 at 402022 right over here on the PulseX die pair, and then get a daily close below it, that would be that wouldn't be good for bulls. That would mean that there's something very sick uh, with the price action. And yeah, but so far this looks good for for the structure to be a pennant. We can come down here on the 4-hour time frame here. We'll actually come down to the hourly and see what it's doing. So now what I've noticed in the crypto market is that you tend to see a move towards the 702, and then what you see is a one last flush towards the 786, and then you continue up from there. So if it does come down to this 786 over here, don't be alarmed. So remember that's 402022. Okay, so from a Wyckoff point of view, this would be your selling climax. You have your automatic rally, you come down for your secondary test, you then have a fail break to the upside, and then you just chop around here at the lows, and then you slowly grind your way up for your last point of support, and then your sign of strength. So we'll see how this structure plays out, but so far let's not jump to conclusions in regards to the chart, as it's still holding the 70.2% fib. If it does come down to the 786, don't panic. But as soon as you get a daily close below the 786, that would be a little bit that would be very bearish. Let's go ahead and take a look at PLS over here, PulseChain. Now for PulseChain, we have a very similar structure. The only difference is that this bottom trend line is horizontal. So as you guys can see, we are holding this structural support, similar to how we're holding structural support in the PulseChain ecosystem. You see how many times we've interacted with this level? I also think that when prices tanked yesterday, Richard Hart deployed some funds to defend this structural support right here. You see how many times we've interacted with it? Once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So many times, 8, 9, 10. Coming back to PLS over here, we see something very similar. See how many times we've interacted with this level? Right over here, right? So many times. So far it's looking good. And for the Fibonacci levels, we can take a fib from this September low over here up to this December high. And we are on the 702. And if it does come down to the 786 as a wick, don't be alarmed. But what I'd be looking for here is a slow grind to the upside from this region over here so we can get that nice breakout. But if we lose 403897 on a daily basis, that would not be good. If we do end up losing the 786, we would just come down to this horizontal structural support over here. But then if we lose this level at 403452 on the daily time frame, that would be very bearish. But so far there is still hope for the PulseChain ecosystem, considering we are still resting on structural support and we are holding it so far. On the small time frame, it does look like we are coming down. It looks like more people are realizing what has happened. This is just the psychology of what the markets. This is just the psychology of the markets. You have your selling climax, your automatic rally, your secondary test, your fail break, your secondary test in phase B, and then you have your last point of support, and then your slow grind to the upside. Okay, so if we do come down to that 786, don't panic, but losing it on the daily time frame wouldn't be so bullish. We can also add the 88.6% fib in there just for an extra line of support. And yeah, just like I said, it would be sitting right at this horizontal support right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at incentive token. Now, incentive token, it's also holding structural support here. You see how many times we've used this level right over here? Okay, so it is holding so far, and it does look like we're just coming down to tap this trend line as support or double tap it, maybe double tap it, depending on how you place it. Now, the analysis may look like cope, but I'm just trying to show you how this chart can survive. Like I'm just showing you the possible scenarios that this chart can recover from. And so far, like it looks good so far, like with these types of scenarios where it's just a accumulation pennant, right? But if you lose these levels, then it would be bearish. But so far, it looks good so far, and this could even be a good buying opportunity depending on the trend direction that it takes from here going into the new year. Let's take a look back at incentive token. Yeah, so it looks like we just came down to double tap this as support right here. Okay. Right, this is your wedge, came down to double tap it. And then we can take a fib from September up to December, and we are holding the 88.6% fib and the 786. Losing this structural support wouldn't be so good. We would then, if we did lose the structural support at $1.53, then we would be coming down to the lower retracements, sitting at 80 cent and $1.04, and then this structure would be turning into an A, a B, and then a C wave, and then we would go up from there. Okay, so we just have to monitor this. No need to panic yet, considering we're still holding this structural support. Let's go ahead and take a look at hex. So this is pHEX over here, and this is your Wyckoff accumulation range right here. This is your median. So this is the median of your Wyckoff range. And it looks like we're still holding the median. We're still holding the median so far, so that's pretty good. We can take a fib all the way from this low here in September up to this high and see where we came to. And it looks like we're on the 61.8% fib, or just shy of it. Let's take a look at the 50%. Like right there. Yeah, so we're holding the 50%. So we're holding the median of this Wyckoff accumulation range that we've been in for about, let me see here. We've been in for about 588 days, so a little bit over a year, almost 2 years. And yeah, looking good so far. But let's check this 4-hour time frame. It does look like it's still coming down here. What I'd mainly be looking at is PulseX and PulseChain. PulseX and yeah, PLS to show us where we're headed for the rest of the coins. But these are the Fibonacci levels so far. If we end up losing the 78.6% fib right over here at 205,662, that would not be bullish. That would be very bearish. So as long as we're holding these Fibonacci levels and we're holding 205,662, then we should be okay, because we would just be coming down to, if we did come down, we would just be coming down to tap this lower support before we continue up from there, okay? But remember, losing this 786 would not be a bullish thing. Let's go ahead and take a look at hex. So this is the chart I made on hex. Let's go to the weekly time frame over here. And yeah, so hex is doing looks like it's doing a 335 Elliott wave flat pattern. We've just finished our first wave to the upside. As you guys can see, we have 5 waves here, 5 subwaves, right? and now we're just coming down for a wave 2. These are all of the these are all of the retracement levels for hex, and yeah, I can come down to any of these fibs before continuing on higher. Um, and remember, if we lose the 786 at 0.001406, then that would not be bullish. That would be bearish. So we must hold above the 786. So I hope you guys enjoyed the PulseChain video today. I'll make sure to keep you guys updated. But so far, don't panic as we're still holding structural support on all of the coins. Peace out and take it easy. See you in the next one.